In this video, we'll talk about Autosampler in Logic Pro. Autosampler makes it easy to create sampler instruments. Now let's open Inspector. As you can see, I have Alchemy inserted in the software instrument, but you can replace that with the utility, External Instrument. You can create a sampler instrument from a MIDI-capable hardware synthesizer or from a software instrument. This utility allows you to route inputs and MIDI destinations. In this example, I'm going to use a plugin to create sampler instrument. Now let's go back to Inspector and insert Autosampler. Where we place it in the signal chain determines whether those plugins become part of the sound of the resulting sampler instrument. In this example, I want to include this chorus effect in my sampler instrument, so I insert it after the chorus. The interface is divided into sections. Click on the keyboard to check that your synth is set up correctly and receiving MIDI. Now that our synth sound is ready for sampling, let's look at the basic parameters of the Autosampler. You can set the note range with the selection on the virtual keyboard, or use range start and range end. Sample every field and slider allows you to set the interval between sampled notes and semitones. If you want to have higher resolution, you can sample every key to avoid repeating in your sampler. If the sample source provides sound variation you want to include in the instrument, you can use round robin to capture up to 8 of these variations per note. In this case, sound is static, so I don't have to sample each key twice. Sustain field simply sets the time the note is sampled. Velocity Layers pop-up menu lets you choose the number of velocity layers to sample. The instrument I'm about to sample has a dynamic range, so sound differs depending on the velocity values. So to capture that, I can sample each note twice with a different velocity value. Autoloop will search for looping points. I can do that in sample later, so I'll skip that. You can check one shot if you want your samples to be saved as one shots. Now I can start the sampling and save the file first. Now Sampler will go through each note and record the sounds. Now when it's done, we can create a new track and insert sampler. In the sampler, we can load the instrument that we just recorded. Now let's close the windows that we don't need, modulators and mode matrix, and look at the zone and mapping of the sound. As you can see, Logic Pro automatically mapped the sound according to the setting of the Autosampler. So this way you can create your own instruments. Or if you have a mono analog synth, you can sample it and then play it polyphonically on your laptop.